Want to lower your blood sugar levels naturally? LifeScript's Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Ed Geer, is here with your prescription. I'm Ron Caparelli, and this is House Calls. For diabetics, controlling blood sugar is a lifelong goal, and keeping these levels consistent helps prevent or delay diabetes complications like kidney, eye, or nerve diseases. Medications can help, but so can simple diet and lifestyle changes. LifeScript's Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Ed Geer, is here to explain how to keep your blood sugar in check naturally. Ed, good morning.
Good morning, Ron.
All right, let's dive right into our favorite topic, diet. What foods can I eat to lower my blood sugar, and what foods tend to raise it?
We all know any kind of sugar or carbohydrate will raise your blood sugar. It's interesting, though, there seem to be a few foods that will actually lower or help to minimize how much it goes up in diabetics. These are things called resistant starches. Certain potatoes, kidney beans, black beans, and even the prickly pear cactus apparently is something that you can consume that will help minimize the elevation of blood sugar levels.
So are all carbs bad for people with diabetes, or just some of them?
Well, the ones you got to worry about are the highly refined carbs. Things like white bread will tend to spike your blood sugars, whereas the more complex carbohydrates that we find in certain vegetables, nuts, and so forth.
So stay away from the overly processed stuff.
Yeah, processed stuff will definitely contribute to elevation of blood sugar.
Now, we hear a lot when it comes to weight loss about eating, 4 or 5 small meals during the day instead of 3 big ones. Is the same thing a good idea here?
Probably 5 or so meals a day spread out during the day are better if you're a diabetic to normalize your blood sugar levels across all that period of time.
And if you have diabetes, the one meal not to skip, I assume, is?
It's breakfast, just like if you're not diabetic.
Why is that? Why is breakfast so important in this case?
Yeah, so it really provides the essential nutrients you need for the day. And it also helps to set your blood sugar level so that it doesn't drop too low initially, and then you're making up for it later by eating too much in order to get your blood sugar up.
Now, how do I know if my blood sugar level is dropping? I know all of this is about sort of maintaining a constant level, but what are the symptoms if you really start to drop your sugar?
Most people feel a sense of lightheadedness. They want to sit down, maybe a sense of fatigue. They feel dizzy. They just know they're not thinking properly.
So how does exercise play into this, and more importantly, the timing of exercise?
Yeah, exercise is really important in helping keep the blood sugar levels down because your muscles consume so much of the glucose that's in your blood. The timing of the exercise, it appears that getting the exercise early in the day is important.
And other factors like stress or lack of sleep, we hear a lot about those being influencing your blood sugar as well.
Stress will definitely spike up your blood sugar, and lack of sleep also tends to be correlated with elevated blood sugar.
Okay, so if it's all about keeping those levels consistent, how often should I be checking my sugar if I have diabetes? Is it once a day, once a week? Does it depend? How do I know?
If you're an insulin-dependent diabetic, you probably should be checking 3 or 4 times a day. However, there are some diabetics that need to check more frequently. For example, diabetic women who are pregnant often have a very difficult time controlling their blood sugar levels, and they probably need to be checking 7 or 8 times a day. The same with those that wear something called an insulin pump. It's actually something that's embedded under the skin and continuously provides insulin, but you want to be checking frequently to make sure you're not getting too much.
And if you had to put your finger on the single most important thing you can do to raise your blood sugar, what would it be?
Yeah, so some insulin-dependent diabetics may get too much insulin on board and therefore decrease their blood sugar. They need to get it up right away, and the best thing they can do is take something, it's a glucose paste or gel that they can ingest. It's a known quantity of carbohydrate, and from there they can measure how much more they need to ingest.
Okay, and of course, as always, if you have diabetes or experiencing any of the symptoms of low blood sugar, you need to check with your doctor right away.
Absolutely. This isn't something you're going to manage on your own.
All right, Ed. Thanks again, as always.
You're welcome.
And for more information on diabetes, visit the Diabetes Health Center at www.lifescript.com. This has been Living with Diabetes. From Los Angeles, I'm Ron Caparelli.